agenda portion of the meeting. We have ordinance as a second reading. Ordinance 02102. It's an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Chapter 12, traffic and parking, adding 2 residential handicap parking zones, 137 Handy Street and 72 Post Boulevard, and deleting 2 residential handicap parking spaces, 72 Post Boulevard and 424 Livingston Avenue. We have no ordinances on first reading. We follow to resolutions. Resolution 03101, approve agenda amendments. Resolution 302, approve payroll from 2/16/13 to 3/1/13. Resolution 303, authorize refund for redeemed tax sales certificates. Resolution 304, approve amendment of resolution 010898. The reason is for extension of an easement for an additional 5 years for Rutgers State University, W Road, from February 19, 2013 to 2/18/2018. The location is a portion of the city properties known as Lot 3, Block 700. Resolution 304, approve amendment of resolution 021311. The reason is to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $2,959.65 to Little Wallach LLP for the matter of Eon Bishop 1 Diagonal from $43,076.48 to $46,036.13. Resolution 306, approve emergency temporary appropriations for 2013. Resolution 307, approve resolution to encourage the legislator to provide new dedicated funding for the Green Acres program. Resolution 308, authorize submission of recycling tonnage grant application for 2012. Resolution 309, authorize certification of amount paid for Recycling Enhancement Act 2012 tax reimbursement amount $55,311.75 for $3 per ton tax paid of 18,437.25 tons of solid waste. Resolution 310, resolution to set a hearing for review of license conditions for the Gala Cafe and Restaurant. Date March 20th, 2013. Resolution 311, amend resolution 011365, the reason change date of event. Approve request for use of city property. Requested by Team Sadex New Light Running Club. The location is Bicola Park and Pavilion for a health run walk on Saturday, June 15th, 2013, from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Resolution 312, approve request for use of city property. This was requested by Rutgers University Center for International Faculty and Student Services. The location is Bicola Park, Pavilion, and adjacent lawn area for Rutgers University Student Picnic given by Rutgers University International Student Organization on Monday, August 26, 2013, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Resolution 313, approve request for parking of vehicles in Bicola Park. Requested by the Francis C. Parker Memorial Home, Bicola Park, for 2 events in 2013. One is on Sunday, June 2nd, 2013, from 6:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Wednesday, December 4th, 2013, from 2:45 p.m. to 9 p.m. and the number of parking spaces needed is 40. Resolution 314, approve request for street closing requested by St. Joseph's Church. The location is Sacred Heart Church on Troop Avenue, to left on Townsend, cross French Street to Harvey Street to Hamilton to Division, and then into the St. Peter's School parking lot. This is for the Good Friday procession on Friday, March 29, 2013, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Police extra duty. Resolution 315, authorize lease of copy machine for tax assessor's office. It's a 48-month lease from G Capital Information Tech Solutions doing business as Rico USA for 1 Rico digital color copier system, not to exceed $217.47 per month, beginning April 1st, 2013, and ending March 31st, 2017. This is a state contract. Resolution 316, authorize tax collector to transfer several tax and utility overpayments. Resolution 317, approve request for use of city property. Location is Buffalo Park, Broadway, and Pavilion. This was requested by Brokers Longboarding Club for longboard skateboard push race on Saturday, April 6, 2013, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pavilion and 12:45 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. at Broadway. Resolution 318, approve request for street closing. This was requested by Rutgers State University. The location is Somerset and George Street to College Avenue to Hamilton Street to Seminary Place at Morris Mall. This for road closure is in conjunction with the reunion parade and celebration which is held on Rutgers property. Buses and antique vehicles will park on Seminary Place. And this activity is on Saturday, May 18th, 2013. And there's a parade from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Police extra duty. Resolution 319, authorize issuance of broker of record letter to Ed Marco and Tyler Knight for ACLAC, account numbers FN 137 and N7566. Resolution 320, award of contract for furnish and deliver motor oil and lubricants with LoopNet, LLC, not to exceed $57,251.50. This is a 24-month contract beginning March 7, 2013 and ending on March 6, 2015. Resolution 321, approved purchase by Police Department under state contract for the purchase of ammunition with Lowman Supply Company of New Jersey, not to exceed $50,838.40. This is a state contract. Resolution 322, approve amendment of resolution 031143. The reason is to pay the final bill for December 2012 in the amount of $178.80 for construction official plumbing subcode to Sharp Electronics Corporation doing business as Sharp Business System. And this is for a Sharp multifunction copier system. Resolution 323, approve amendment of resolution 021-14, change order number 3 with Orchard Holdings for in-roadway warning lighting system. This is a credit of $647. Resolution 324, approve amendment of resolution 061-68, and the reason is to revise original encumbrances on the 2012-2013 contract with Matt McDonald for 2012-2013 miscellaneous engineering services. 325 is held at the request of the city engineer. 326, approve request for use of city property requested by Blood Med at Rutgers University. The location is Buffalo Park and Pavilion for 5K run and walk. This is on Sunday, April 28, 2013 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Resolution 227, authorize issuance of broker of record letter to Business and Governmental Insurance Agency for prescription drug program. Resolution 228, approve renewal of contract with National Vision Administrators for vision plan for city employees. The term is January 1st, 2013, retroactively to December 31st, 2013. Resolution 329, approve of premise raffle at 9th Church Street for Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation on April 3rd, 2013. That's it for resolutions.
That is it, Madam Council President.
We have an item for discussions that is about taxi ordinance codes for independent taxes that we probably will go into the next.
That's fine. Mr. Hamilton wanted to make sure he got it before the council. It deals with request for a new cab company's colors, and I understand the council's going to get some additional information. We'll just agendize it for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now the meeting is called to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Council Vice President Egan.
Yes. Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Garlotti.
Present.
Council President Escobar.
Here. Be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with and satisfied in that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Raise your allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have post for moving forward those Americans and Iraqis and Afghans who are localized in the war in Afghanistan. Thank you. This time, I would like to take a motion for the minutes of February 20th.
Make a motion?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Council Vice President Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Garlotti.
Aye.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have an ordinance on second reading, ordinance 02102, which is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, chapter 12, traffic and parking, adding 2 residential handicap parking zones, 137 Hampton Street, 72 Polos Boulevard, and deleting 2 residential handicap parking spaces, 72 Polos Boulevard and 424 Livingston Avenue. Does anybody in the public have any questions or comments on this ordinance? Councilmember?
Move the ordinance?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Garlotti.
Aye.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. At this time, resolutions, we're going to go to the resolutions, starting from resolution 031301 to resolution 031329. Does any member of the public has any questions or any comments on the resolutions presented for? Any council members have any questions, any comments?
Move the resolutions.
Second?
Rebecca, with the exception of 25.
Yes, holding number 25.
I'm sorry, that's right. You're holding number 325. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember, I'm sorry, I didn't give you second, I'm sorry.
I move.
I second.
Okay. Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Councilmember Garlotti,
Yes, abstaining on 304 and 318.
so noted. And Council President Escobar.
Yes. That's all for resolutions. At this time, before we start with the public portion of the meeting, I would like to give an update on some matters that were brought forth the last council meeting, specifically 2 items. At the last council meeting, there were some questions posed to the council about the hiring of Officer Kearney. Having been able, presented with some information about the situation, that's a situation that the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office is the one who's in charge, so we are abiding by the law, and I have no other further comments on that, unless anybody in the council has any comments on that. And second, so there was somebody who asked about the mayor's position on gun violence, and I asked Mr. Russell, Russell to give a statement on that.
The mayor wanted everyone to know that yes, he is a mayor. He's a mayor against illegal handguns, and no, he's not a member of mayors against illegal handguns. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the floor is open for the public. Any comments from the public who wishes to address the council? Mr. Kranovich?
Good evening, members of the council. Charles Prattville. I live in the 5th Ward of New Brunswick. I wanted to apologize. I need to make a correction for my comments last meeting. I had stated the debt of the New Brunswick Parking Authority as being in the neighborhood of $400,000. It's actually 10 times that, or it's $400 million. It's 100 times that, 1,000 times that. And so I do think it's important that the City Council be up to speed with what's going on at the Parking Authority, because so much money is guaranteed by the city. All those debts are guaranteed by the city. And I just want to know, is there an update on what the authority is doing about the people who were caught stealing, and, you know, what's being done to prevent that from happening again?
After, the meeting, I just recalled, I don't know if you read on the newspaper, they did a very extensive coverage on what happened at the parking authority in terms of the thefts. And I believe that they interviewed Mr. Delgado, who is the security person that the parking authority has. And I know that he said that they have instituted various measures to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again. And he was the ex-chief of police at South Brunswick Police Department, so I'm pretty sure that those measures have been in place right now.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has any other comments from the news.
No, I think having served there, whatever, they're obviously being prosecuted to the full extent of the law to improve the condition that they put in place.
Thank you for that. I wanted to, remind everybody that the parking authority is doing a very good thing by opening their 5 of their decks to residents tonight who would rather not shovel out tomorrow if there's snow, and just in general not get their car towed if they're on a major route. So I think that's a really good thing, and I think more people should take them up on that offer. I understand only a handful of people did the last snowstorm. And it's really important that people be able to plow the next day, and I know that a lot of people were towed by the police. So encourage people to do that. I wanted to ask, I know some of the council members are relatively new, but can anybody tell me if previously the police directors have attended these council meetings? Like prior directors?
I believe that, because I wasn't in the council then, but I know that when, I believe if I'm not mistaken, when Mike Peltonina was police director, I believe he attended some meetings sometimes. After that, I am not aware of.
Well, I think that, the fact that it took us, 2 months to get a simple answer about whether or not the Mayors Against Illegal Guns question kind of means that either the police director or the mayor or both of them should come here once in a while. I think it's only reasonable, and I do want to follow up on that because what we just heard is that our mayor is not in Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and I have just a list here of some of them: Antonia Resigliano in Edison, Francis Womack in North Brunswick, John McCormick in Woodbridge, Chris Bolage in Elizabeth, Corey Booker in Newark, Dana Red in Camden, Jerry Healy in Jersey City, Owen Henry in Old Bridge, Brian Stack in Union City, and many, many more mayors are in this coalition against illegal guns. And I think that a city like New Brunswick, where we do have a problem with gun violence, where we do have a problem, the first step is admitting we have a problem. And I would like to know, if the mayor's not a member of that coalition, why not, was my question.
Mr. Sheriff?
The mayor's against illegal handguns. Just because you're against it doesn't mean you have to join an organization that says you're against it. Just because I'm a Catholic doesn't mean I have to join the Knights of Columbus. That's the reason. You become a member of an organization, you have to know everything about that organization. The mayor is personally against it. There's no reason he has to join an organization to make his views known. Being a member of that organization isn't going to make the situation any better or any worse. The mayor is personally against it, against illegal handguns. I think that speaks volumes right there.
Thank you.
Yes, one more item. I wanted to ask the council if they'd seen our reporting on NewBrunswickToday.com about the school board election, if they had any response to that.
What's NewBrunswickToday.com?
It's a website, I'm the editor of it. I know in the past, the council has said they've seen stuff and they learned things from it.
I have seen the articles that you have, I have read them. And the only thing that I personally would tell you is that I stand by the council, what the attorney said, the council and the county clerks did. I stand by, they follow the law, so we gotta follow the law.
Okay. I think we had sort of 2 different stories coming out of the county, so which one you believe, I don't know.
So, but so far, they follow the law. We gotta follow the law, right?
You bet. So listen, with the school board election, I did want to point out, the two members who won the election were funded by a committee. This is the Committee to Keep Politics Out in our schools or out of our schools, I'm not sure. But they were the ones who fought against having school board elections. And I know that I brought up at a prior meeting that you know, your running mate, Mayor Jim Cahill, yourself, and Mr. Egan had contributed to that fund by an amount of about $11,000, and there's also $2,000 from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, $1,800 from Construction Management Associates, $1,800 from Operating Engineers, $1,800 from Middlesex County Building and Trades Council, and $500 each from the District Council 7-Eleven PAC Fund and Middlesex County Labor Committee. And I just wanted to know why it's appropriate for an organization to fight against having school board elections and then contribute that money to getting candidates on that school board, and whether that's something that you're comfortable with your campaign funds being used to do.
I personally am comfortable with Mr. Carter, and even though they contribute all that money, the question passed, didn't it? Right? So the citizens at the end spoke, so it doesn't matter, in terms of the members that were elected, again, it's a democracy, the people elected them. Whether the money was spent or not, at the end, it's whatever the residents wanted.
I appreciate your view. I just did want to ask and put that on the record, because I know that your money did go to these candidates, and that the election is in question so far as whether all the state laws were followed. And
why is the election? This is what I don't understand. You knew my views on keeping the school board where it was at that point, but you had an election, and it might not have turned out like on November 6th, the way it turned out. It didn't turn out that way. I mean, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it. I didn't say this election is in question. But now you put up candidates, you had a free and fair election. Everybody knew when to come out and vote. And in any school board election, and I had said this before, you do not have large turnouts in school board elections, especially on off times. Now,
especially in January.
Especially in January. It can be in January, it can be in April, it can be whenever they have it. That's why the states, a lot of municipalities have elected to move it to November to try to boost the turnout. But some people just don't turn out the school board elections. So now, when there's a point of view expressed by certain members or certain people, and it doesn't turn out your way, not your way necessarily, but one way or another, I don't understand why that's in question now all of a sudden. And I'll follow up with that. And I've heard you say, personally, that you are standing up and fighting for the kids in New Brunswick. Now, going to a Board of Education meeting and speaking may be one way to stand up and fight. But at the same time, when you call our schools failing, you are calling the students failing, you're calling the teachers failing, you are putting a stigma on them. How is that standing up for students that are in the New Brunswick schools, when I personally have my kids in the New Brunswick school system, and my kids are not failing students?
Overall.
Excuse me, we're talking.
Listen, I supported an elected school board. I'm not ashamed of it. I think the people should have the power to pick the school board and not the city's mayor. I think that's more political. I think that you know, my position speaks for itself on that, and I'll explain why this particular school board election was held in violation of New Jersey state law. There's a state law that's very clear for scheduling of special school board elections. It states that there's a 60-day notice requirement. 60 days before the election, well, we didn't even know if we had an elected board then. It would have been impossible to properly notice this election. The election was purposefully rushed. The county clerk's office accepted petitions from 2 candidates after the advertised deadline, and did not tell the other candidates who were running against them that they had this new competition. So over the entire Christmas holiday, the campaign season was essentially shortened, and they were led to believe that they were did not have opposition from you know, the establishment here in New Brunswick. And then lo and behold, they find out they have other candidates that are in the race. And as a journalist who stayed out of that particular race, I was also surprised to learn that candidates had been accepted after the deadline, because I specifically was there when the deadline passed, and we were all led to believe that the deadline was passing. And then 3 days later, to accept petitions from additional candidates without explaining that the deadline has been changed and that there are new candidates is inherently unfair. The election was not fair. The campaign season was illegally short, and the candidates were given differential treatment and differential access to knowledge about the process. So the election was illegal, it was unfair, and I just wanted to ask what your position was on that, and thank you for sharing it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, my name is Danielle Moore. I will start off with some good news today. I believe people in New Brunswick appreciate how the city has contributed to the Wellness Fitness Center for New Brunswick people to only have a special payment of $30. And wow, it's very impressive very good, of how the city has helped with that. I hope it does continue, especially for our students from 5th grade starting, where you did say that you will be giving swimming lessons. I will compliment that to the city for helping out. But once again, I'm here for 207 Joyce Comer Avenue, where I know I talked to you and Captain Miller with this house. I'm glad about getting the crime away, where they're back taking care of the crime, just as well as 14th Edward, where that was broken into yesterday. They captured the boys. But please, I'm at 3:30 in the morning. That was Tuesday morning, which it was New Brunswick out there with a tow truck with the vehicles belonging to 207. What would you wait till 3:30 in the morning on the side of my house? Your house is over there, but I know you had to get the car. Why would you wait till 3:30 in the morning to come remove this vehicle from a drug case or whatever case it is with 207? And another thing, that was 7:30 in the morning. If the house that you're over there is 207 and I'm over here, why are you parking in front of my house, making it seem like my house is under investigation for the 3rd time? Please, where people are coming, oh, is everything okay with your house? What's going on at your house? My family's been there over 40 years. We do not need no one to think that my house is being raided. So please, I hope the city and the police department gets this together. I'm happy that they're getting the crime and all, but please, stop making it look like my house is danger. Where someone looks across the street, sees all these detectives in front of my house, on the side of my house, where it's free parking. See, I couldn't take the pictures. You know, normally I prove my point, but due to where I just had surgery, I could not take the pictures. But yes, you have free parking, empty parking spaces. What are you parking around my house for? And like I said, I'm tired of it making it look like my house is being raided or whatever. So please, I hope you really do something about it, because this is the 3rd time. And believe me, I do not need the stress, keep being woke up at night or whatever. So please, I hope you do something.
Remember to talk to me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for looking at all the wellness. The kids already started doing swimming lessons.
Oh yes, believe me, like I said, it's very lovely. That's where I go for my physical therapy, so I know it's very lovely.
There's something 207 at the last meeting, you were not here, but the information was passed to the New Brunswick Police Department. That's why they were doing the activities that you saw. Sometimes it's hard, I apologize for the inconvenience, but probably sometimes it's hard to see, it depends on the situation, but I'm glad that at least they're paying attention to the complaint, to that.
See, like I said, I can't really come to all the meetings due to, like I said, I cannot sit down for a very long time. And one other thing that I'm here to talk to, I know most of us seen last week, maybe Wednesday, it was on the news about a little boy, 4 years old, getting hit by a car because the crossing guard is not on duty. Now, believe me, the police department, everyone knows that I do a lot of walking around New Brunswick, not to inspect or anything, but for my therapy. And I do see where crossing guards are not on duty, and I even volunteer to cross some students. So I feel, is it possible that who's ever in charge, that they go around every morning and every afternoon to make sure that the crossing guards are on the job, due to where, I don't have to call in. That way they know I will still get my pay, which I know how that goes. So if it's possible that you can take care of that, please.
Where was the location?
Due to where I don't want to turn in any name, because it's, like I said, I do a lot of walking in the morning and afternoon, but I don't want to turn in anyone's name in doing it, but yes, like I said, I'm familiar with crossing guard, because back in the day, I did it too.
Thank you.
But yes, please, that is one thing to take care of. I hope the city does before a child, we do not want a child to get hurt in our neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public who wishes to address the council?
Yes,
Name
ma'am.
and address, please.
My name is Jose, last name Garrido. I'm the uncle of Mario Lombardo. On 1/15 of 2013, he was gunned down on Somerset Avenue. He was shot in the head, you know what I'm saying, on a robbery. I just heard right now the gentleman talking about that the mayor is not, you know what I'm saying, indicating nothing about gun violence and gun control. You know what I'm saying, I think that, you know what I'm saying, there should be something that should be done. You know what I'm saying, because we have a grieving mother here, which is my sister. We have another gentleman here that his son was shot and killed, and his other son was shot and injured, and he's paralyzed. I was shot 5 times, and I'm still standing here in front of y'all, letting y'all know what's going on. I'm from Union City, New Jersey. I was shot at 5 times, got struck twice in the knee. My cousin was hit in the back, and I was shot another time. I was drive-by shot Judy 30 times, and didn't get hit. Okay, I think that the mayor should come up here and stand up and listen to what the public has to say about the situation that's going on around in New Brunswick. And not just in New Brunswick, but in general with everything. Because if everybody's coming across and everybody's doing something about this situation, you know what I'm saying, I think he should stand here, you know what I'm saying, and indicate what's the situation and what's the problem. Because this is not further more than just, you know, a violent act. Because if it was his son or his daughter that was getting robbed or getting shot, I believe there was something that was going to be done. And he would have took desperate measures to deal with the situation. But since it's not him, that it's just the public out in the streets, that this is going on in general, you know what I'm saying, he just sitting back behind his office is not taking care of the matter. He's sending another gentleman to stand here and to talk for him. You know, that's irrelevant. You know, I think, you know, there's more things that's going on, you know what I'm saying, than parking, tickets, towing, you know, and so on and so on. This is a real serious matter that's going on in New Brunswick. There's innocent kids getting robbed and getting shot and getting killed for a pair of sneakers, for a bag of weed, for God knows whatever it is, whatever they're getting robbed for. We sitting here and indicating and asking for the mayor to come up and stand up. If we have to bring thousands of people down here and bring them to his office and protest and campaign and do whatever we have to do, then I'll do it. Because right now, my nephew's sitting in the hospital with a gun wound to his head, paralyzed. He won't be able to walk no more. He won't be able to talk. He's eating out of a feeding tube. He's been running back and forth from Robert Wood Johnson to JFK, and now they're going to take him to another hospital. He's going to stay in there for 2 years, maybe 3 years of therapy. And the mayor just sitting behind closed doors and not indicating that this is not a serious matter, when there's innocent kids getting killed. And not just innocent kids, senior citizens, elderlies, getting robbed, getting shot. Something has to be done. I'm standing here as a victim, as gun violence. 5 times I was shot, and I'm still standing here, and I'm speaking of this. I think this matter should be dealt with personally with the mayor, with the public, and with general people, you know, indicating on what's going on. Because there's innocent people out there getting hurt and getting their life taken. Family members are suffering that they don't need to be suffering, wondering if their kids go to school, are they coming back? If they go to the store, are they going to be all right? If they go out to the yard to play basketball, or they walking out with their friends, or going out to a party, are they gonna make it back home? Why is it that the minority always has to suffer? We as the minority, low-income families, you know what I'm saying, living here, living there, okay, fine, no problem. When we bring this matter to the council meeting, or to the mayor, or to the public, nothing gets heard, nothing gets done. All the concern is here is about parking meters, tickets, towings, the budget, what's gonna happen here, what's gonna happen there, what's happening to the public, to the people out in society, to our teenagers. What are you doing for our teenagers? What are you putting out there for our teenagers? What are the goals that our teenagers have? Just like the gentleman made a comment before, when the gentleman said, you know what I'm saying, that the schools, you know what I'm saying, the gentleman made a comment. Oh no, my son is doing things, my son is doing this. Yeah, but look at your position, look at our position. Look what we stand at, look what you stand at.
That's right.
Okay? Because you put your son to the best place that you want to put him at. We can't do that because we don't have the funds. We don't have the credentials because you look down on us. Right now, you're looking at a man full of tattoos. Full of tattoos. You see me in the streets with a hat or a ski mask, what you gonna do? You're gonna run in your car, lock your doors. Oh, he might rob me. Don't ever judge a book by its cover, because you never know. The gentleman back there said, I'm a Christian man. What does Christian or Catholic got to do with what we're talking about in society right now? That has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with that. We're talking about making a better place for our kids. Making a better place for society and making a better place for New Brunswick. Families don't have to suffer and worry about when our kids are coming home. And if our kids come home. Get the mayor behind this. Because if he don't come behind this, we'll get behind it and we'll bring everything we have to bring and bring it to his office. Petitions, people, public, worldwide, everything. We'll bring it. I think, you know what I'm saying, y'all have to sit down and step to the side of everything else that's going on and start concentrating on what's going on in society with the gun control. We have to do something about this. Because it's not getting, you know what I'm saying, it's getting worse than getting better.
Thank you for your statement, and I think that, you know, I agree with most of the things that you say. You know, violence itself, not just gun violence. Violence itself is something, it's a public health issue, like it was stated by the CDC, and it's a serious matter. Just don't gun, domestic violence, any type of violence, and we need to start as a community to start raising those issues also. I think that the statement of the mayor, I'm not quite sure what is it that is being looking at and what do you want the mayor to do. In terms, he gave his stand of what, that he's against illegal guns. So I don't know what else is it that you're looking for. In terms of the community, because I work in the community, I live in this community, and I work with kids who are, have been through situations also traumatic that have been shot. I work with kids who are gang involved, so I know the reality of some of the things that are there, and I also know what is being done in the community. And I think that we as a community could do much more to bring more awareness to our kids and make sure that they understand that the videos, the rappers, and all of that, that lifestyle, that's not the lifestyle that they have to be looking at. We need to start as a community, as mothers and fathers, to start telling our kids, shoot for something better than being a basketball player or doing this. And it's something that I really, and not to say that, but as a community, like I said, and I work personally, I have worked, I had the march against drugs, against violence, domestic violence in the city for many years, because I do believe that there is an issue with violence everywhere, not just in New Brunswick, but everywhere. And sometimes when we see violence all the time, we take it for granted. We say, okay, this is another one, okay, another one, and we become oblivious. So we don't want to acknowledge that there is violence out there. I am, I'm looking, because there are some bills out in the state legislature that they're trying to put, I think that's Senator Lesniak and, I forgot the other legislator who's trying to put more control, gun control measures, new ones for New Jersey, and to start I am, as the city council, I'm looking into it to bring it forth to my colleagues here to see, as the city council, if we put a stand in the city that we believe that violence, and including gun violence, not just gun violence, all type of violence is a public health issue, and it's something that we need to address as a community, as a city. So, in terms of, Russell, you wanted to say something?
I just want to clarify that the mayor is working very hard against getting the illegal guns off the street. Just because he doesn't belong to an organization doesn't mean he's not working every day with our police department to get this problem fixed. And he's working with other legislators to get legislation passed to address this matter. So he's doing it, and he's working hard at it. It's not like he's just sitting back. He's working very hard at this. This is a personal issue with him. So it's not that he doesn't care. He cares greatly about the safety of this city. He's here for all of us, and he's working very hard to make sure that our children are safe, all our citizens are safe, our senior citizens are safe, and so just because he doesn't belong to an organization doesn't mean that he's not working every day to get guns off the street, to get the criminals off the street. The police department, he works with them, he's in contact with them every day. So I just wanted to make sure, the mayor's not just sitting back, he's working every day for the safety of our residents.
And I have, sir, this,
I don't want to, not responding directly, but you said don't judge a book by its cover. And I think, I agree with you 100%. And you say that I've been to the best of places and send my kids to the best of schools. But that's not the reality. I always tell people as a minister of the gospel, don't look at my testimony until you know what my test was and where I came from. I've been to New Brunswick public schools. I've been on the other side of handcuffs as a teenager. I've had relatives personally gunned down on the streets of New Brunswick, head blown off down at former memorial homes. I work now in Trenton and in Hamilton Township with teenagers every single day. I worked in East Orange Public Schools, where the first 3 years I lost kids to gun violence. I take those stories every single day on how I apply this job that I have right now. Now you say that I send my kids to the best of schools. Me and my wife, we bust our behinds every single day, because there was a time when people who go to that school now where my kids go, because of the color of their skin, you didn't see kids like that out there. So now I don't make any excuses when I know what I do every single day. I'm not some high class. I don't make a whole bunch of money. I'm a teacher in the New Jersey school system. We don't make a whole bunch of money. But what we do is bust our butts every single day to make sure we can get the best for our kids. And that's all we ever ask for anybody that are parenting their kids in New Brunswick right now. I didn't grow up with no silver spoon in my mouth. My family, my father had to work 3 jobs. My mother, nurse at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. It took us a long time to get to where we were right now, and I still have not arrived yet. I still got to put bills together every single day. And I'm still fighting every single day for every single kid, not just my kids. Because right now, you know why my kids are not failing right now? Not because they're in the best of schools. It's because as soon as they got home, I helped them with their homework. As soon as they got home, we spent time with their lessons. I asked them what they did in schools today. And that's all we ask everybody. That's all we ask. We got to work together as a community. Some things that we're not going to be able to prevent. My heart goes out to every single time I hear somebody, because I know I've been personally touched by it in my family. And I never say that I have the power or I could have prevented that, even as a minister of the gospel, because my church is even in New Brunswick. I walk the streets and we've ministered to prostitutes. We've ministered to crackheads, people who don't have any more hope, people who may have been shot down. We've ministered to them. So, like I said, until we understand, we can't judge a book by its cover. Don't ever look at somebody's testimony until you understand what their test was. I understand what you went through. And I sincerely say it. I sincerely say it to every single family that's been touched by it. I can't sit there and say, I'm not gonna sit there and just throw out anything and say, you know what, I really empathize with you. Because I go to funerals, but I go to funerals, I go to the hospitals, but the difference between me and sometimes other people, I don't come out and say, you know what, this is where I went. I don't make a big show of things. I'll go in, anybody that sees me in the community, I'll have my sweats on, stuff like that. I'll go and do it, because that's what we do in ministry, we go and do it. We don't do it for show, we just do it because we do it out of our hearts. And my heart goes out to every single person who's out there who's been touched by the violence. Right now I can't answer why the mayor's not a part of it. But all I know is we can work together as a community, as a family to recognize it, and that each and every family been affected by it. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Name and address? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm the mother of the 22-year-old that got shot on January 15, 2013. The first crime in New Brunswick of this year. Before that, plenty of crimes in New Brunswick. Everybody getting gunned down because of robs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this is ridiculous. You talk about games, video games, rapping music. Baby, we were brought up in this music. Are we going around picking up guns and shooting kids? Guess what? My 22-year-old worked in St. Peter's Hospital. A nurse, psychiatric patient, okay? Coming out of work at 4:30 in the afternoon, going home, taking a shower, getting dressed, going to his cousin's house at 5:30 p.m. He gets gunned down because of what? Because they want to steal what? Nothing. So you're talking about rapping? Gun violence? You talk about freaking gangs? No, baby. We grew up in that. Are we going around picking up guns and shooting people? No, right? We were brought up freaking, hey, I had to starve. I was cold. We were homeless, okay? But look at me now. I brought up my kids the right way. I didn't bring up my kids in the freaking streets. And then he gets gunned down? For what? For the hell of it? What is the cops doing here? Okay? Who are you to talk about freaking religion and stuff like that, huh? You're nobody. You know what I mean? No shoots, nothing. That is my kid. The one I freaking gave birth to. The one I brought up, okay? By myself. Alright, without a father. Okay? He's a good kid. He graduated high school in New Brunswick. He's working in St. Peter's. Everything was taken away from him. A 22-year-old kid that can't work no more. Because he's paralyzed. Why? Because somebody came and did this to him for nothing. For nothing, so what do we do? What do I do as a mother? Huh? That my heart bleeds for my kid because I have to see him every day and I can't help him. How do you tell me? I go there, I see him paralyzed, can't talk, can't think, 2 brain surgeries, 2 within less than a month. The doctors tell me that he's going to be paralyzed, disabled for the rest of his life. We're talking about a 22-year-old kid that was working, okay, was fine. He worked in St. Peter's Hospital with freaking psychiatric people, stuff like that. Look what they did to him. For what? I have no answers. Okay, no answers. Okay, what do I tell my kid when I look at him? I feel helpless all day and night with my son 24/7. I go home, I cry, I scream because I don't want him to see me like this. Because it hurts so much. So the mayor has to do something about this, okay? We talk about all this and that. Guess what? I am not no freaking organization either, and I'm a parent. Willing to fight for my kid. And I will do it. Because if nothing is done here, I will bring the whole freaking entire world to come to Brunswick and do something about this damn freaking gun control. Okay? Because it's not fair. Alright, this is a freaking nightmare for me that I wish I could wake up one day and say it was just a fucking dream, but it's not. It's not, because it's reality. It's reality. That's my baby, Okay, my baby that was destroyed for the rest of his life. A 22 that was healthy, that worked and did everything, and now we can't do nothing. Okay? They save it for life. Why? Because people go around at 5:30 in the afternoon in Somerset Street in front of everybody. Okay, a busy street. Everybody was there waiting for children coming off buses and everything, and they saw what happened to my baby. Alright? And nobody said nothing. Nobody helped. Nobody helped my baby. Alright? So what do you want me to do? Yeah, you talk about this, you talk about that. No, we grew up too like this and like that. Okay, like I said, look at me now. I'm not going around picking up guns, killing people because what I went through when I was younger. Because I was beat. I have a domestic violence, also women that was beaten and stuff like that. I didn't become a worse person to pick up a gun and kill anybody because I'm pissed off or frustrated for what I went through. You know what I mean? Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Really. Because that is my baby. My baby, okay? And my heart hurts so much. My heart hurts so much because that's a nightmare no parent will ever want to go through. I'm sitting in my house and I received the worst phone call of my life. That my son was shot in the head. When I went to the hospital, 2 doctors was waiting for me with the tablet, man. Okay, tell me my son was not going to make it. My son went through 5 blood transfusions, 2 brain surgeries. Okay, had a freaking trach in his mouth. He was a life support, a coma, a trach in his throat, a feeding tube, a 22-year-old. I had everything. Now he don't have nothing. I thank God, yes, that he's alive. But why would you have people walking the streets? People that were in jail before, because the one that did this to my kid was in jail before. Okay, he just came out of jail last year and freaking was on parole when he did this to my baby. Why do they have people in jail and leave them out there? It's like handing them a gun and saying, here, continue, do it again. And do it again. People like this do not care. They don't care. They need to be kept away. Because this is what this man did to my son. He came out of jail, it was like, forget it, he wanted to do it again. Okay, and it's not fair. He wanted to take my baby's life. For what? For nothing. For nothing, because he didn't take anything. He almost took my baby's life. See? That's why I say something has to be done here. Because I'm serious. And I promised this to my son, and I promised it to him. We will walk the streets up and down New Brunswick. We will make whatever kind of riot, I will make it because that's my baby. And I will do it for him, for something to be done here. I will go to jail, I don't care. 20,000 times if I have to. But guess what? 20,000 times I will walk up and down the streets in New Brunswick and I will do it. We have to do something. Because in New Brunswick, I live in Fort Danmore, New Jersey. And we have freaking violence over there too with the stabbing and stealing, stuff like that. But in New Brunswick, you turn on the news, you read a paper, you hear this every day, every second. Somebody's getting killed. Somebody's getting shot, somebody's getting stabbed, somebody's getting robbed, somebody's getting raped. What is going on? We have to do something. People killing people is ridiculous. Ridiculous. We have to do something.
My name is Jose, and I'm grown from 272 Sanford Street. And right, I don't need to let you guys know what mine. I think you guys already know. But like you say that you work in the community for. I never seen you before. That's the first time I'm seeing you.
I've seen you before.
All right, but why haven't I seen you? Know I was touched by that gun violence. You know about my son, 3 murders in less than a month, 2 in less than 3 days. You never reached out to us. So like I don't know what you might be doing it, but you might be doing it in the wrong place where it doesn't count. And as far as the gentleman back there, the mayor's where's the mayor? What is you, like you're his puppet, that you talk to him? Bring him here.
Right, sir?
Bring him here. I'm saying, bring the mayor here. Let us talk to him face to face. Let us know that he cares about what's going on in these streets. You know, because like, as you see, the lady right there with her son, 22 years old. My son was 24 years old. The girl, Jessica, was 22 years old. The kid, June, was 17 years old. These are kids. When is it really going to get that serious for us? When are we going to like open our eyes and, let's start doing something? The gentleman there, you said that you can't blame the school teachers and you know what? I also got a 16-year-old son that, you know what, at times he don't do too good in school. And you're right, it starts at home. It does start at home. But teachers have some type of accountability for that too. Because they're there as an authority figure. That's an authority figure. And they're there to teach. And the kids are supposed to follow them. So if there's no authority figures, we let the kids do what they want to do. Where's the teaching at? Just like the police, just like the probation officers, just like the parole officers in here. This lady right here, her son was shot in the head by a kid that was on parole. Now, why is not probation officers, parole officers doing their jobs? You know, you're calling for, let's say you want a drug call, you're calling for a curfew, all you gotta do is call in. When they do the house check, all they do, they just wanna see your face in there. But what about going in these people's houses, doing thorough searches, see if they got drugs in their rooms, guns in their rooms? You know, we gotta get more deeper than what's really going on. We're just touching the surface. We wanna pass gun bills on what? On stores, on places where there's no gun violence really going on here. It's going on here in our community. You guys do, the New Brunswick police, they good at doing surveillance. When they want a drug dealer, they'll put all the manpower in there. They'll investigate that person for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, like thoroughly searches. What about when this individual comes out of jail and he already got some rap sheet of hurting people, carrying guns? And you see him on Remsen Avenue, because the town's not so big. And you see that individual on Remsen Avenue, you see him one day all day long. You see him 2 days all day long. Now you know this guy don't got no job. Where's his income coming from? What is he doing? Is he known for carrying guns? Let's put an investigation on this. Why does it have to wait for that person to pick up a gun and do something what he did to this baby's son? You know, just like the mobile command. Mobile command, we talked about that last week. We talked about that Wednesday. Thursday night, that was right back on the library. Not just the mobile command now. When I passed through there, a police car was on the side of them. Now I asked, like, what they doing in the library? Who's getting hurt in the library? They're not looking at the library. You know what they're looking at? They're looking at the out-of-towners. They come from the state to the state theater to spend that money in this town. That's what they're worried about. They're really worried about protecting them people that come from out of town. They want to put New Brunswick as a front, as a good town. But they're not going deep inside the Remsen Avenues, the Hale Streets, the French Streets, the Lewis Street, where it's really going down at. The Joyce Kilmers. True. You know what I mean? They're not digging deep. We just doing the surface. They just touching the surface and like more or less they just they cover your they cover your 6 o'clock. They're 6 o'clock. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to do more investigations. Like, just let's not touch the surface. We need to get deep. We need to have everybody accounted for, not just the parents and the sons and everybody, from the probation officers, from the parole officers, from the judges, from the squad car, from put more police officers out there. Downtown New Brunswick, don't nothing happen in New Brunswick, downtown New Brunswick. Why are so many cops out there? Put them guys on street walking. Walk them. Put the cops, where you guys know New Brunswick better than I do. You know where the real crime is going on at. And it's not happening in front of the state theater. Thank you.
Anybody else want to go to the wishes to address the council? Yes, Mr. President.
Come out with me, 291 Senior Street. First off, as far as gun violence, since we got the mayor's spokesman in here, I'm gonna clear up one concern. The mayor did come. I seen the mayor come to a council meeting once. He stuck his head in, and I'm not gonna say when we made eye contact, he turned around and headed for the steps. I just want to know his spokesman, being that he blamed all the violence on me.
Can you please address it?
I want to know, being that his spokesman is here, Russell, being that the mayor blamed all the violence on me, when he came, why did he take off and run? He didn't. Since he blamed the violence on me, he's going to abandon an organization that's participating in gun control? You say Tormel Pittman is responsible for the hike in violence in New Brunswick, but you abandon an organization that's petitioning for gun control? That's like a contradiction. And I want to know, why is he taking that stance when he asked me to get involved with the violence? I should be spending my time helping people, helping the streets, and I've been doing that. But he abandons the organization that's fighting for gun control? Could you ask him why is that?
I think he answered before that even though the mayor doesn't belong to this particular organization who's sponsoring that, the mayor has been working with other legislators legislation.
I asked you to ask him.
And I'm just telling you because I don't know if you heard the answer that he gave before you were here, so that's what he said. But if he has anything else to say, then he can answer, but I'm just telling you what he said before you came in, or I don't know if you heard.
I was a little late. I don't mind being a little late.
So, Mr. Macheta, can you just repeat, can you address that?
Again, the mayor is working with our police department, state legislators on the problem of gun control. To be a member of Mayors Against Illegal Guns, he feels his time better spent working on his own with our police department, with our state legislators, with our freeholders on the issue of gun control. You know, if he joins an organization, that takes time away from what he wants to do here. He's committed to New Brunswick, and he's working for the safety of all residents.
Okay. That's a question. There's a lot of gun violence. Did the mayor contact any families that were suffering from the gun violence in the last 6, 7, 8, 9 gun episodes? Did he contact any of the families? If he's on it, did he get?
Do you have that?
I don't have an answer for you.
Can you get?
Can I say something?
Can you?
Can I jump in real quick? I just
As
want
soon
to
as
say-
he's done.
Yeah, but he just made a comment that I just wanted to rephrase to it. Because he just said, no, hold on, he's still gonna talk, he's still gonna have the
No,
floor.
I understand.
No, but man, but I don't wanna lose the opportunity
I'll
right
let-
now.
I'll let
Because
him take my time.
he just said a comment right now, that the mayor's working with the police department, you know what I'm saying, to indicate and to work on the gun control violence. But what is he doing to the public? He's not doing it for the public, he's just working with the police department? How about the public? The public is the one that's going through whatever's going through, not the police department. The police department don't have nothing to do with this, it's the public. We're the ones that's suffering, we're the ones that going through all the gun violence, not the police department. The police department single and profile people. They see him walking, oh, he's a suspect.
Now, they ain't
You
gonna try
fit the
me.
description.
They ain't gonna try me.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. So what is the mayor doing for the public, for the people?
Thank you. Yes, Mr.
Now, as I said, the mayor is working with every group out there to.
What group? We don't see the group.
Sir, please, if you control, maybe for him to finish, and you have to address any questions and comments to me, please. Thank you.
He's working with the legislators, he's hearing, he reads, he knows what's going on in the city. When I said he's working with the police department, that's for the safety of the residents, to make sure that our residents are safe. You know, the issue of gun control is a very thorny issue. You see it at every level of government. If our legislators in Washington can't agree, you know, it's a major problem. And the mayor's working here at the local level to try and get what can be done. But it's a bigger issue than here in the city. It's a state issue, it's a national issue.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Another question?
Okay, if the mayor, maybe if he didn't contact any of the families from this gun situation.
He said that he didn't have that information.
All right, well, did the police director contact anyone? Is it possible that the police director could come to any of these meetings to address the public's concern? Okay, the mayor's Hollywood, we understand, he's in Vegas somewhere.
We have somebody from the police
at least
department here that is here to address the concerns that everybody has.
Well, I mean, he sat here and watched a mother sit here and cry, which led to a city attorney, which I have a lot of respect for that. I see you have a heart. She starts crying. He just sat in his chair. So what is he? He just sat in his chair and watched that go. So if he had a resolution, or if he had something that he could present to the public to give us some type of security, don't you think he would have stood up and addressed the council or the public if he had anything, if Lieutenant Miller had anything to say? Captain Miller? Captain?
Mr. Freeman, as you know, if he had anything, I will address, I will tell him to have a comment. If he didn't have a comment, I don't know why he didn't. But what is your question? I just want to know what is your question at this point.
Why can't we at least get the police director here to give the city some type of security? A lot of people don't live in the nightmare that the general public lives in. Sometimes when some of you people, when you may go to your car, you may forget that this council meeting never happened. she's not going to forget what happened to her son because she has to see him. He's not going to forget what happened to his son because he has to go to his burial, to a gravesite. But you guys, maybe it never happened to you. Maybe that's why you guys are taking this cavalier approach about things. Like Councilman Fleming said, his cousin was gunned down in the projects of New Brunswick. But 3 murders on Hell Street, and Councilman Fleming didn't show up to not one. If I was a councilman and one of my family members were murdered in the projects, and I'm sitting on a seat, and I hear 3 people got murdered on Hell Street, I'm the first one here with my sweat hood, or whatever attire you wear, with my sweats, and I'm going to address the people out there. I'm not a councilman and I did that. I'm not a councilman and the mayor blamed me for all the violence. And I went out there to see those young teens, to look at their faces. Nobody sitting around that table did that. There was about, the last 7 shootings were Latinos. You didn't even come out there. You didn't even show up. Why weren't you there? I showed up and they weren't and I'm not Latino, I'm black. And I showed up for them kids. I'm asking you a question, why didn't you show up?
I have no comment on that.
Well, why are you sitting in that chair then if you don't have no comment?
Thank you, Mr. Pittman. Anybody else from the public wishes to address this? Yes, Mr.
Really, I didn't want to say anything, and I just came to observe. Being a former mayor candidate and former member of the Brunswick Police Department, and Mr. Fleming, when his nephew got shot in the projects, you had to have solutions for that. And I, as a policeman, came together with the community, went and checked on both sides with the gangs to see figure out what was going on. And we were able to have a peace talk. I worked with the family. I didn't get paid for it. But many times, I watched some faces as we were talking. Because everything's political. And a lot of folk, they just don't have it. They just don't have it. They're in positions and they really don't have it. But they're there, and we're talking about the school system and the police department. One thing that I see as a pattern is that most of the employees will work out of town and don't live in town. I looked at surveys back in 1975, and it's really all about money and political posturing and down here on George Street. And I live in George Cumber Avenue. I walk the street every day. I know these kids who got what happened to them. I speak, I talk, but I look at it and it's a science thing. Everything is science. And I look at it and I say, well, how can we solve this? Just to say, I was a policeman, but they don't know that I was supervisor of the New Brunswick Police Department that was in the projects. You won't tell them that when I went to Police Academy that I was elected by the officers as officer most likely to succeed. In New Brunswick Police Department, I was human relations officer. Because of my views in politics, when I say something, you see, people who don't bring nothing to the table but jokes, they in. But in January, I came and I said, let's do something for Dr. King. Joe team marched up the street and we did something. The little girl that I showed you a picture of, my last 2 days, I had 4 days to go before I retired. And a gun call came over the radio. And because I'm always a little skeptical, because I have people who don't want to see me make it, and I always have to watch my back. And so it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and they gave a description of the young man who had just had a disturbance with his domestic violence thing with his girlfriend, and he had a gun. And he came by, riding by me with riding a bicycle, and I was at Sedan and George Cumber Avenue. And I said, man, I gotta take it down because I don't know who's watching me. They don't want to see me have none. You know? I'm talking about the people who I work for. You have to look out for them. Like JT back there, I gotta watch him more than I gotta watch myself. You know what I mean? I just keep it real. And so when he came in front of me, I took him down, and put him up against the police car, and the kid said, "Neil, the gun is in this pocket." So I took the gun out, and I made the arrest. Fast forward, the little girl I showed you in the picture is his daughter. Had I had to shoot him, she would have had a bad impression of what a police officer is all about. What I'm saying is because of the work that you do in the community. It's about the parents at home. But when I was taught old school, police officer got to put his feet on the ground and do things and know people.
That's right.
That's what paid off with that young boy, and that's why I'm still here. I'm working on a project right now. Because I see it. I came up, I lived in the city. If I was mayor, this wouldn't happen. I would be here. You know what I mean? I think I'm a better man than Cahill. I'll just say it like it is. But it's politics and money. School city would run much, much better. And I just have to say that at this opportunity. We don't have a plan. And we don't want a plan. We just go with the people who in the Democrat, who are politics, and we meet and we go to Civic League, we go to Spencer. They don't have it. They don't have it. And I'll sit with anybody. And you know for years I've been coming down here to the city council and explain. And the thing about it is TK sitting there. And when I made peace, I was brought up on charges for making peace and had to defend myself from an administrative court judge who said this man is doing the job. This is the type of meanness that we have in the city. And that's passed down to the kids because the kids know, hey, I can cut mine. It's just politics. You know, no reason why we shouldn't. A city that's 5.6 square miles, 140 cops, no reason why they can't be walking. You know, getting involved with the kids, getting involved with the community. You know, if they made that way, I'm 62 years old, I'll be 63 this month. I can still handle it. I don't need to carry a gun with me all the time, but you got to have a plan. And I have a plan. And I'm going to do it with you or without you, because I'm not going to be ran out of New Brunswick. I went to school here. I love New Brunswick. And because what you're not doing, I'm not even going to talk about what you're not doing. That's not the focus. The focus is to get out here and do something in the community with my feet on the ground to let people know I care and take what they are saying and try to turn that around to benefit New Brunswick, because I'm proud of all of New Brunswick. Whether I'm mayor or not, I don't have to be. But that's what's missing here, you know. People that can really, really do, they're held back because of political reasons or whatever. And that's the problem with the country. I seen Bill O'Reilly last night, and I'm sitting there watching. He's mad because Obama, I'm going to finish up, he's mad at Obama, and he really lost it. He want to blame everything on Obama. Because the rich don't want to get off their high horse and give a little bit more money and actually do something that care about people. They're the ones ruining the country. Greed.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Council Vice President Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Garlotti.
Aye.
Council President Escobar.
Yes.